Hello, this is my A-level computing project. We're presented here with the login screen. Now this login screen, to log into the system, you will need to have an account. So you can click register. Once you click register, you'll be presented with this screen. Here you can input any username you want. I'm going to put test3 already in here. I'm going to put test. Put username in there. And the password, we're going to just put test. And to re-enter the password, we're going to put something completely different. And as you can see, it will know that you've put in the wrong password and tell you that the passwords are not the same. Now if we put in the same passwords, we've now registered with that account. And as you can see, it will pop up right over in login details, username and test. There we go. So now if you go back into login and use the username and test and click login, we can log in and go to the student homepage. But for this, we're not going to be using this account as I already have something else pre-planned. I'm going to quickly log out. Log in with a student account. STUDENT. Click login. And then here, and here, if you click continue, we're presented with the student home screen. Now we have a bunch of options here. The student can add details about themselves. They can put in their first name, last name, and phone group so that they can be searched easier in the database. Now this does work. I can put in my first name. I'm putting my last name. I'm putting my phone group. Click update, and my details have been updated. And as you can see, you go into here and go into user details. You can see that it's been added like so. Going back to this table, now we can close out of this. Go back to classes. It will tell me that I'm in the following classes: test 1, test 2, and test 3. These are the class names. And of course, I can click log out, and that will turn me to this screen, which I can click log out one more time, and I'll be logged out of the system entirely. Going back to the main screen, there's settings, which I can change my username, which I'm going to change, which I'm not going to change, which I'm going to change to I'm going to change it to student with a 1. I can update that. My username is updated. I can change my password to student1 and click update, and those have updated as well. Going back to this here, going to login details, you can see that student1 has now been updated to be that, and student is no longer in the list. Okay. Now going back to here, student can come over to resources. When they click here, this page will pop up. This should show all the resources that are available to them. So from test 1, the class is called test 1. There's past papers, and if they go to this place on the computing shared folder, past papers, they'll find the past papers. And if they go to computer shared mini test, they can go to mini test. These can be anything that the teacher wants them to be. For test 2, when you have when a class where you have no resources, it will tell you that you have no resources. Yeah. It concludes it for the student section. I'm going to log out and log back in as a teacher. Logging back in as a teacher, we are presented with this screen. We can manage resources, manage classes, log out, and settings. Settings are the exact same as for the student. Log out, of course, takes you back to this page. Manage classes. Once you click manage classes, you're presented with this screen where you can add a class. I'm going to quickly add a class, and we're going to name it example. We're going to add this class, and this class has successfully been added. Now once we go to here, go back to classes, you can see example is now a class name and has a class ID and a teacher ID, so you can see which teacher made which class, right? Classes. Okay. Closing out of here, we can remove a class. Okay, for this we're going to remove test3. All we need to do is grab the class ID, not the class name, class ID, put that in there, and so long as you're a teacher, it should allow you to delete the class. Refreshing this page, it's gone. The class test has been deleted. Test3 has been deleted. Going back into here, we can go back to this manage class screen. We can click manage class. You can add students to a class or remove students from a class. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to add student 1 to this class. What we need is this class ID. If you put in an incorrect class ID, one that doesn't exist, just checking that doesn't exist, and then input a student ID into here, go into login details, find someone as a student, click the ID, copy and paste that into here, add that student, error, there's no class with that ID. And the same goes for when there is a student with an incorrect ID. Now we're going to go back to classes, click example, copy this ID and paste this ID in here where class ID is requested. Or to click add student, you can successfully add a student to the class. Then you can check that in here by going to classes and students, and as you can see, this student ID 42732650084, this one here, has been added to the class 1366. There we go. And the teacher ID again is stored so that you know which teacher did what. Management system. Now you can close out of all this. Return back to the home screen for the teacher. Click manage resources. We can add a resource to certain class. So for example, on the class that we just created, we want to go back to this class, click classes and click for the example ID. Copy the example ID, place that into here. Then from the resource location can basically be any string that the teacher wants. They can add a note here as well saying that this, say for example, this is a mini test. And then they can put the location. And they can put the location in right here. So say for example it's on the shared folder. Then if you go to from the shared folder, if you then go from the shared folder to the share folder to basically mini tests. Now this string can be anything you want. It doesn't matter. And then when you click add resource, it's successfully added, and you can see that it's added. We're going to class resources and seeing that the location has been added here. And if you go back to the student, you'll be able to see that has been added to there. Right? Closing out of this. And that is the teacher menu completed. Logging out of here, logging out. You can log back in and log in as administrator. Admin. Successfully logged in. Going back to continue. All admin. Now what the admin can do is you can see, of course they can do settings and they can log out as well. They can add other admins, so this is where you add another admin. It's the same screen as before, as you've seen earlier, but it just adds admins. Then in here you click all classes and it will print out all the classes. So the classes that exist right now are test 1, test 2 and example. All the teachers, the only teachers that are accounts are made right now are just teacher. And go back to here, all students, and here a list of all the students. And that concludes the demonstration of my A-level program. Thank you.